very, very excited to have all of you here. Let everybody on this table introduce themselves, who they are, what they do, and then I'll take you into knowing what we are doing today, and then everybody will speak in their hearts content about why, as a community, we need to work together to give back. Because of the lockdown, we all have to be passionate about caring about. We are our brother's keeper at this time. So that is why we are a. Is the slogan that is going on. Each one of us is the other brother's keeper. So we shall start from Miss B.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Brenda Nanyonjo, founder and CEO of Miss Uganda Foundation. We are here to give our support because we are all in dire need of basic items of our day-to-day lives, but then there are those people who are in even more need than others, so we are here to do that.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Bagaya. I'm the current Miss Uganda 2020-2021, and I'm so happy and pleased to be a part of Watson Foundation to give back to the community, because I believe right now is the time to give back to the less fortunate, to all the people that are not able to get something. It's a blessing. It's said when you give, you receive. So I encourage everyone, if you can give something out there, please do. And thank you so much for us to be a part of this.
My name is Remmie Male. I am the founder and executive director, Women of Valor Foundation. I am also the regional director for the Ashlei Watson Foundation. And we are here to work with the Miss Uganda Foundation today to see that we give basic needs to the people in Kamokya slums, single mothers that are in dire need. They're looking after big families. They are so lost. They have 42 days of lockdown and they don't even know where to get meals because they're not working. They normally do hand to mouth. And today it's locked, so how are they gonna do it?
My name is Rachel Mwagale from the Miss Uganda Foundation, and I'm happy to be here with the team for Miss Watson Foundation as they do part of what we do at Miss Uganda. Support the needy, support those in need, especially single mothers for today. And I'm happy to see all of you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Nsigaye. I am a documentary filmmaker, but I'm also the founder Celebrating Womanhood Festival, a platform that seeks to amplify women's voices from a women's perspective, and I really relate to this initiative to support the ladies, especially single mothers. For people who relate to Uganda, you understand the threat of or the real problem of single mothers, who are the majority. And as Remmie initially explained, there is a hand-to-mouth culture with the lockdown, which is understandable because also lives have to be saved. There's need for actually people to survive, to get food to feed their children. Otherwise, we've been seeing people being beaten, but they say, I'd rather die, but go out on the streets and get food. So you don't give because you have a lot, but you give because of what you have to give. And no one can actually satisfy the need out there, but what you do and the spirit, and probably this is one of the initiatives that will encourage others. So I really relate. I congratulate Miss Uganda, I congratulate you, Remmie, I congratulate and commend the Watson Foundation. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
We officially have prepared for 10 families, for 10 homes. The slums Kamokya below down there, we're going to give them maize meal. We're going to give them soap because we need it. Miss Uganda and the Ashlei Watson Foundation, what they have in common is they're also trying to fight period poverty. So Miss Uganda has also contributed towards pads for the mothers and the teenagers. We have a good package to give everybody who is here. But the reason why today we are giving publicly, because we also plan to give discreetly, is to encourage everybody there. If a beautiful queen like Miss Uganda comes and gives, and also another beautiful queen in the United States, she's currently, because Ashlei Watson is the current Miss Global Uganda. She's representing Uganda in Bali for the Miss Global Crown. So if a young girl in the United States, her heart is touched and she's saying, Why don't I help these needy women? How about you? Your store is full of rice. You don't even know it's getting moldy. We have so much. With just a kilo or two, you could help save lives. Because, as you know, those who won't die of COVID, they will die of poverty. They will die of hunger. So this is the reason why we want you to communicate it for us. The key is here. Anybody who has anything, I love the slogan that is going on. Buli omu akole ki? Buli omu ayambe munne. Buli omu agumye munne. We are our brother's keepers. So thank you so much for joining us today. So now we want to start the action.
Ashlei Foundation okugabira families ezenjawulo ebintu ebyetaaga kubanga kyembeera tugiraba abantu tebalina kyakulya abantu badde tebakola abantu bali mu mayumba tebalina kyakulya era nga tumanyi nti abantu abasinga tetulina kyakulya Watson Foundation evuddeyo era mwebaza nnyo omukyala Ashlei avuddeyo n'agula ebintu ebyenjawulo bye tugenda okuwa families ezenjawulo.
Omukyala oyo mumanyi owa foundation
Ashlei Watson mumanyi yesimbye okuba Miss Global representing Uganda.
Okay, so far uchanga bakutekawo kuwa Miss Uganda gwe kiche wali okozeeko n'ogamba kino kye nnina nga nze 2020 to 2021.
Njagala nkujjukize nti bansoma kuwa Miss Uganda mu mwezi gwa May mu mwezi ogwokutaano era tubadde tukola byebadde nsinga okukola wadde mental health okwogera n'abantu about mental health during this pandemic lwakubanga ate tuyingiddwamu okunyigiriza kwa lockdown tetukkiriziddwa okutambula oba ogenda n'okukyalira abantu abasingako era byetusinze byekyensinza okukola kwogera n'abantu about mental health.
Sebira kicho igenda okuzaako cause tunabanga after being a Miss Uganda
ekibuuzo kiri nti kikyengera okusigala nga nkola nga bwe nali nyingira Miss Uganda nali makeup artist kyensigadde nga nkola era bwe naaba nga mpadde muganda wange addako obwa Miss Uganda nja kusigala mbuulira enjiri ya mental health ate nga nsigala nkola obwa makeup artist.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Women of Valor Foundation is in partnership with the Ashlei Watson Foundation. Kakati omuwala enzaalirwana ya America ono gwe bayita Ashlei Watson gwe mulaba wano nalulunje ye current Miss Global Uganda yalina engule ya Miss Global Uganda kati aba bwe yawulira nti waliyo lockdown engeri gyali eri mu America n'agamba ekitongole kyaffe kimuyambeko wano kifune n'ebitongole ebirala ebikola nga kyakola tukwatire wamu tugende tuyambe ba single mothers bamaama nga ye maama ye taata ng'alina abaana alina ennyumba ejjudde era mugenda balaba ennyumba zaabwe zibatunuulidde abaana babatunuulidde emirimu gyonna baagiggadde kyokka emirimu bagiggadde emmere tewali kati netugenda netubabuuza bano bamaama nti kubanga wansi eri e Kamokya kumpi ne wano ne offices zone omukyala wa wano designer bamita Dora na Juma nayo yomu ku bitongole ebyakoze eki ebyatwegaseeko ne tumubuuza wano mu mulirwano n'atutwala mu bana abakyala ne tubakebera nga bannaaye covid tannabakwata naye ng'enjala n'obwavu byo bibadde bijja batta kati ne tubabuuza mwetaaga ki ne batugamba twetaaga entangawuzi ne galiki mbu kubanga biyamba okulwanyisa covid bwe batugambye ne tugamba tujja kugula ne batugamba twetaaga sabbuuni kubanga sabbuuni bw'omunaaba mbu bigaana mbu obuugi bukola emmere ate ne bukola neki ne forage omwana n'abeera nga asobola okubeererawo ne tubaleetera akasawo kalamba ggoju ne tukwatira ddala twakutte okukola bino byonna okusobola okubaawo n'okutuukiriza ekintu kino bwe kiti omukyala Ashlei yaweereza $100 ye kale ye ng'ekitongole yaweereza $100 tumukolere ekintu kino kiveeyo bulungi aba Miss Uganda nabo ne baleeta ezaabwe abakwano be tulina aba bulijjo nabo ne bateekamu ezaabwe naffe aba Women of Valor ne tuleeta buli omu n'akwatirako omukyala kasi nantume akoleyo mu driving licensing and biki naye n'aweerezaayo ye yaguze essukaali omukyala oli owa native tv ye yakoze supply endala ng'ebijanjaalo she's a food and produce supplier so ebintu tugenza olaba nga abantu bakirimu nnyo ate nga bakyagadde ne tugamba naye bino tunabikolera mu nkukutu wayinza okubaayo omugagga bifeekeera nga store wejjudde naye nga tamanyi ffe katukole tubalage kye tukoze era tukyakola olwo activity tujja ziyita tugenda gaba bugabi kubanga bye bali tumanyiyo kati naye tukikoze to sensitize okubagula abalala emmeeme zaabwe nti kiro emu bweti ey'ekijanjaalo eyinza okuwonya omuntu okufa kiro emu bweti ey'akawunga eyinza okuwonya omuntu okufa si covid yekka yatutta covid yajja n'ebirala ng'obwavu n'enjala.
Mu Miss Uganda tulina eŋŋombo nti omunalulungi alina okuba nga alabibwa ku bikolwa. So it's beauty with a purpose. Obulungi bwo bukuyamba butya kubanga ng'omwana ng'afuuse Miss Uganda ati nga Miss Uganda waffe Elizabeth Bagaya nga Ashlei Watson tuba encouraging nti obulungi bwo buleme kubeera bwa njala bwa lipstick bwa kubeera ku pate n'oyimirira ku ntebe n'ozina n'owanika okugulu naye obulungi bwo bujje eri mu bantu mu community mu bantu kubanga oba ofunye w'oyogerera oba ofunye eddoboozi erikutambuza oba eddoboozi eritambula kati n'eddoboozi ly'omwana nga Ashlei Watson liri America n'erituuse e Uganda ate lisobola okutuuka mu Africa so kiba kirungi nnyo obulungi ne tubutaaginga n'ebikolwa essaawa eno ensi yonna ewuniikiridde ne pandemic Uganda eri mu kufuna bufunyi weeva ey'okubiri ate ng'era batugamba ne weeva ey'okusatu ejja kati bw'obanga buli mu mbeera ng'eno ng'otooledde olaba kyekikola kimenyeza families abantu bavudde ku mirimu lockdown abantu ebagjeeko buli kamu ke balina waliyo enyiike abantu beeraliikirira emitima tegitudde naye ate bwe kituuka ku baana abato kati ffe nga Miss Uganda tufa nnyo ku teenage pregnancies abaana abato abafuna embuto nga tebeetuuse omwana wa myaka 13 alina olubuto alina mwana ate azadde omwana so naaba nga talina ngeri gyamulabirira ate amufunye kumpi mu munne naye nga naye wa myaka 13 so nekibafuula ba teenage mothers ate teenage mother bw'amala okuzaala era ayongera kubeera muzaazi mu myaka 18 alina obwana buna talina kyalya talina kyabuliisa mu butuufu embeera ekaawa so mu pandemic yeeyongera okukaawa so abaana bwe bati bannalulungi bwe tubawa platform kubanga ye aba asobola okwogera n'ensi n'agikunga aba asobola okwogera n'abantu n'abategeeza kyali kuba baamuwa platform eyo kwayogerera.
Ashlei, how are you? I'm Valor from Spark TV. I have just 2 questions. I just wanted to know, how did you come up with this idea of giving back to Ugandans, yet you don't stay in Uganda?
So I came up with this cause because I come from a single mother. I understand the struggles in life that women face. As a woman, I take pride in giving back to my community, and I decided to start where we're in Uganda. As women, we all have to stick together. It's something that's near dear to my heart and I just came up with it just really from things that I do in my life.
If I may ask, are you a Ugandan? Oh, because I hear Madame Remmie is telling us that you're Ugandan. We would like to know, are you really a Ugandan?
When Miss Global Organization reached out to me, told me that I was the top 10 that they were choosing, and they told me that I would have to pick where I come from. So when I did some research, I realized that the earliest human bones that were discovered in the Nile River was in Uganda. And as a Black woman, I traced that that's where I come from. So it only made sense to represent Uganda. And when you guys accepted me with so much, like with open arms, and you guys were so loving, it just seemed like that was what was best to do.
First of all, congratulations on making the first scene. And for the viewers online, the noise you hear is boda boda. Boda boda is how we call motorbicycles here. Motorbicycles are actually ferrying the food. Thank you very much, the Ashlei Watson Foundation, that you're taking to the neighborhood. So you shouldn't be bothered. It's not anything that is troublesome or cause for worry, cause for celebrations, because people are going to receive. Are you hearing that? The people are making noise, and big up to you. And I want them to first celebrate you, and then we come back. It is impossible to have Remmie Male, Rachel Mwagale, and the border borders and the excitement and permit that interruption. And as you can see, greetings. So these are some of the people, very happy and very excited. And I hope you can see them taking off. Taking off. Are you able to see them? They take off. Back to you as the team takes off. Oh, wow. Thank you. Full of energy. These ladies are full of energy. Back to you. I want to commend that you did research. That's very, very important. It's a critical aspect. So how much, since you were welcomed and you were well received, how much of that made you feel a Ugandan? How much have you learned about Uganda since then?
So, of course, you guys know Miss Remmie Male. She's been a sister to me, a sister in Christ, a sister through business, and she's introduced me to so many people. I've been published in Uganda, like online and just the industry, and they've just taught me so much about the spirit of what you guys represent. I know that you guys are fighting for the youth right now. I know that you guys are advocating for women, and those are all the things that I represent. So through this pageantry journey with Miss Global Organization, I am basically adopted into the culture. It's living in through me. It's all through my blood. And Remmie Male has been such an angel for me and my mom. And she's just been there for us. And so have the love that I received from social media from you guys, from all over. Everyone is interested in what's going on in Uganda, Ashlei, and they're just so intrigued by what we're doing. And thank you for even interviewing me and all that you guys are doing there. So there's so much eyes and ears on the internet. So I'm just really excited.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, very excited also. First of all, the possibilities you present Uganda. Imagine the platform, the visibility. I think we need to actually also update Uganda Tourism Board and the government of Uganda generally. This is a good visibility, positive visibility, because sometimes there are negative stories coming out of Uganda. But a young, beautiful lady traces the history of humanity on the roots of Mountain Rwenzori and links, and inevitably, yeah, we are relation. I think humanity started at the tips, and you're home and welcome home, and great that you're not sitting. And great that the eyes are on internet. Yeah, thank you. Really excited because lately we also had a bit of stories, a bit of excitement. We just concluded an election, and sometimes elections here can be very exciting. So a positive story such as this one, which traces the roots historically, puts in the dots between Uganda and humanity and human nature and our heritage. That's very exciting. And then linking it with all these other causes. For instance, you thinking about the single mothers. It's a sad reality. Majority of mothers in Uganda are single. So I am wondering, okay, I like the answer you gave, that you are also a daughter of a single mother. Denise, congratulations. Thank you for bringing up a wonderful, fantastic young lady who thinks about, first of all, ladies. Secondly, the heart of sharing, even remotely, thinking about people you've never met, but you feel that they're family. That's huge, that's massive, that speaks volumes. And we're really, really excited about it. I'm sure you'll be getting the testimonies later. But also for us and for other people who are listening, I think for me, it's also a cause of encouragement. Women looking out there and listening and hearing that there's this single mother who raised a beautiful lady with purpose, who has gone on in all the countries in the world, America, the strongest country, and she's able, a daughter of a single mother, to actually emerge as one of the best in like team-based. It's massive. I think it tells other women, go out there, go and support your children, invest in your children, give them good values. And I would like to fall back to you, Denise. Tell us your experience as a single mother. How have you done it? How have you raised a beautiful but very responsible and purposeful daughter?
As a mother who, in the beginning of my motherhood, had several struggles, mental struggles, emotional struggles, financial struggles, I always taught my children that there's a secret formula to the world that's so simple that God has granted us. You have to give in order to receive. You have to do in order to get.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I have a son and I have a daughter, and I taught my daughter that it's important to raise consciousness of who she is as a woman, but most of all as a Black woman, as a woman with different denominations and different things that she's attached to. That it's very important to understand the simplicity of the world. And it's important to develop a prayer life. It's important to know that there is a universe bigger, there is a cause bigger. And if you rely on your religious, your spiritual purposes, your foundation of God first, and always do things that are equipped to humanity, always do things that are going to continue to throw legacies and grow, and you plant a seed. And when you plant that seed, you must nourish it in order for it to grow and to develop. I am beyond proud of my daughter. When she became Miss New Jersey Earth, her compassion with the ozone layer, her compassion with helping natural causes, to do recycling, to do nature walks, to understand that we have to take care of Mother Earth in order to have a flourishing crop, to have a flourishing world, to have a clean environment. And then when she continued her journey doing humanity and doing human things and reaching out to young girls, and I saw her compassion grow. I saw her open up to something so much grander than the surface of a crown. And she said to me one day, "Mom, if one queen could make a difference in this world, I want this melanin queen to be that." And I continue to support her on this journey. I continue to support her in the things that she want to do. I am elated that she decided that the women was her main cause, to help women, to elevate women, to cultivate women, to teach women, to push women, to pull women, to gather women together with commonality as a woman, as a Black woman, as a provider, as a mother, as a guider, as a teacher, reach one and teach one. These are the things that I am so happy that I grounded her in. I grounded her into communication, open speaking, learning how to speak and help. And my son used to always tell me, a closed mouth never get fed. And when you start thinking about a closed mouth that never get fed, it's so important to know that if we do not commonly communicate and open up to each other and know and tell each other their needs and their wants, and take away the barriers of cultures and just dwell into helping, we'll have a better universe, we'll have a better world, we'll have a better chance. So when we went and did our DNA and we did our roots traveling, and we found out that we were a part of Uganda, and I met Remmie and I met James, and I started meeting people in Uganda. My chest became big. My hopes became grander. My vision, and not just my vision, my daughter's vision. My daughter said, "Mom, we're going to start a foundation. We're going to help period poverty. We're going to help women, let them know that through all things, we can do it if we come together as one. If we started giving, you can give one penny and save someone. You can give one conversation and heal someone." So these are the things that my daughter stands for. These are the things that I stand for as a co-founder of Ashlei Watson Foundation. Although our compassion and our love is around women and elevating and teaching women, educating women, helping women, pushing and pulling women, we also are going to branch off into so many other things, male illiteracy, teaching boys to be men as we continue to teach girls to be women, culturally start to take away the barriers of myths, the barriers of cultural ideologies that are not working in the new millennium. We are just excited about what's to come. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of so much more that we are going to do for Uganda, that we're going to do for Africa, that we're going to do for America. This is something that we prayed for.
Yeah.
We prayed for this.
And when I go to Bali, Indonesia, I will be there August 25th. When I am interviewed, when I am speaking, whatever I do, I keep Uganda in my heart. I keep it front and center. So when they see me, they see you guys. So that's why giving back to you guys is basically giving back to myself. I've been in those positions where being raised by a single mom, we didn't really have much support, and we fought tooth and nail to make ends meet. And I know how that feeling is. I feel like when I look at another woman, I don't see differences. I don't see color. I don't see body. I don't see anything. I just see another woman. So I'm compelled to help, because when I needed help, when my mom needed help, unfortunately, we didn't really have much. And it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to help a woman. So I think that wherever I go, you see me, you see Uganda, you see a Black woman, and I will always fight for the things that I believe in. So we're so happy to be with you guys today. We're so excited. We're all the way in America cheering you guys on, and we're just grateful. Yeah.
We're so for this opportunity. This is a godsend. This is a blessing raining from the heavens.
Wow, thank you very much. It's really godsend. It's godsend. It's godsend for Uganda. It's godsend for humanity. It's godsend for the women. And listening to you at a time like this, when everybody is beginning to actually sort of like reflect and ask, COVID, maybe Mother Earth is telling us something. And yes. Yeah, and it definitely is. And I see that, okay, there's also been efforts in as much as we've really overwhelmed Mother Earth. There are also people like milestones and efforts that are being put. What I also hear from you is that, what are we telling our children? How are we teaching them to respect Mother Earth, to respect humanity, to learn to share? And what are the possibilities? What does that present? And hearing Ashlei also talking about how she will go and represent Uganda, how she thinks about women, how when she needed help, it wasn't always forthcoming, but then it didn't teach her to look the other side, but then to decide to give other people the opportunity. But also they're not giving up. They're not giving up. That is really, really incredible. How we don't give up, looking at the culture myth, demystifying them, the ideologies that don't work together. Other things you're speaking about don't speak to only Uganda, they speak to the whole universe. They speak to the whole universe. True. And it's a wake-up call, which even COVID is, but also the need for us to sort of like join and look at where we came from, which is also what I'm here. This is very symbolic. Like, where did we come from? What happened? What went wrong? How do we go back? How do we link? How do we build on the success gathered to also fill in the gaps and the harm we may have caused? And also, it's not because people are guilty, because you've never done anything to Africa, but you're able to look back and say, I need to give back. I need to relate. I need to trace my roots. I need to look at, because looking at Uganda from a perspective of that's where humanity started. It's not Uganda, it's global, it's humanity. And I want to commend it. I know we are experiencing now a bit of internet challenges, but I also wanted to now hear more in as far as the Watson, especially when you talked about the Ashlei Watson Foundation and you talked about the men. What's the situation like? Because there's an issue of empowering women, and the women have issues, but the men have also come out and say, but what about the men? When we empower only the women, where will the women get the people who are their compatriots? What is the situation like? Is there a need for more empowerment of women in US as there is here? Is there a need to move side by side with the men, which is what I'm hearing from you? How do we hit a balance? And it's for me very exciting to hear that you are also factoring in men, even when we know that there's a greater need for women.
So when we start talking about families and dynamic family, you have to go back into looking at what the problem is, because you'll never be able to figure out the solution unless you know the problem. And some of the barriers when it comes to men is our culture, our concept of family, our concept of doing. So we need to take men back to the basics and let them understand that it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to communicate. It's okay to have large dialogues about emotions, about life. It's important to teach men skills. It's important to teach men how to be better men, better providers, better guides. So if we can help women, but men, we also have to teach, because men are marrying, men are having children. These become cultural genocide things that continue to revolve. And that's where the elderly get these generational curses, myths, and these generational habits. So we have to stop that. And the only way that we're going to stop that is to start teaching it. I don't think it's just an American thing. I think it's a world thing. I think it's a cultural thing. I think and your culture is different than my American culture. How I treat a man, we have the commonality, but culturally we are different. We have to start tearing down some barriers of cultural tales, of cultural principles and beliefs. We have to break those things. We have to teach that. You know, when I married my children's father, and when the marriage was dividing and the marriage was going into a different direction, my children still have a connection with their father, yet they were in my household. So that made me a single parent. And I am a woman. I cannot teach my son how to be a man. I can teach my son how to be emotional, how to understand, how to communicate. But God made man to go out in nature and to help and to teach a boy how to survive in the jungle. My natural instinct is to nurture my son, to love my son, to provide for my son, to do for my son. I'm a woman, I'm not a man. So we have to start indoctrinating when families are divided and they're not together, an avenue for young boys to go to so they can learn how to be from a boy to a man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry to interrupt. This is a very interesting conversation that I believe we should pick up. But right now, I think they need us to connect to where they are with the ladies. So let us run there quickly. And once we are there and they're done and they're coming back, I'd like us to click on the conversation. Very, very critical conversation and very, very inspiring. Actually, thought-provoking. You made me think about a number of things. This is Dora. This is the first home.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you very much. We really appreciate in Uganda, in the slums where we live. We really live hand to mouth, and we appreciate this because we are not working anymore, and this can take us some time. May God reward you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, James.
Hi,
James.
Sarah.
Hi, talk to us. What's happening there?
Hi,
Keep
James.
us updated.
So we're distributing food to different families, basically to everyone. And Miss Uganda just brought more like things to ease the women who are going through the period. So some of the things that are going out to different families, that is found Miss Uganda Foundation, Brendan and Nyonjo. And now we're off to the different families that we have to donate to.
Amannya gange nze Najjuma Bena, mbeera mu kyakya eriya wano Kamokya. Naye nze kyensinze nnyo okusanyuka banene ne mumanya nti ffe abantu b'eno wansi mulina okujja ne mutulaba ne tubeera nga tuli bubi nnyo, ne mutulabirya ne mutuwa ekyokulya kyokunywa, ate nga bangi be tulonze tetubalaba nga nako batuwa ku kyakulya. Naye nze nsanyuse nnyo 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 nnyo. Nze kintu kyensaba bannange Mukama Katonda abampeera obuwangaazi, abampeera omukisa, nsobola okubeera nga mujja musaawo. Nze bannange mpulira essanyu lye nnina lya mu kiwagonja. Musaawa zino ngenda kweterako kijanjalo kyange n'enkutayo ettooke eri awo.
Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Bannange thank you nnyo tweyanzizza. Senga mutufunirayo n'abantu abalala weebali nga tebalina kyakulya nga tetulya naye kati kemuzze mutufunire n'abalala bajja abantu baffe weebali baneiba nga nabo tebalina kyakulya. Bannaye tweyanziza mwebale nnyo mwongere tugabirira tweyanzeege. Ashlei Watson ne Miss Uganda bannange tweyanziza mwebale nnyo tweyanzeege. Bannange Mukama nga yeebale n'enkulaba n'enkutegeera mbadde nkubulira buwulizi weebale nnyo Mukama akuwa omukisa ne Mariam weebale munnange okubandeetera mbadde sirina kyakulya entamu yiri njerere mulimu mazzi weebale nnyo.
We're making lives change. We're smiling. We're happy. Thank you, Ashlei Watson. Yay! Ashlei Watson.
Cheese.
Miss Uganda Foundation.
Cheese. Say Ashlei. Ashlei. Say Denise. Denise. We love you. We love you. We are coming back. We are coming back. To feed us. To feed us. Bye.
Bye.
Ashlei Watson Foundation. Nalulungi we Uganda, Miss Uganda wuyo yakugabidde. Ne Nalulungi aliyo mu America. Bamuyita Ashlei Watson. Una akubuuzaako. Ashlei, say hello to Nachi.
Webale nnyo webalire ddala, webale nnyo webalire ddala.
Single mother. The teenage girl is the one. We need to see the girl. The reason is the girl. Tugende yo yewa.
Tuwansi wali tukira
Kye kyonzo mwana yandeese.
Emyaka 8 n'emyezi 6 kwe bamukwatiranga bamukosanga 3 ogwokusatu bulungi talina bizibu yali asomera ku Kingi ng'asoma bulungi yani ebizibu ne bimusanga bamulonda polisi ekiraloodi bamuteeka mu bukutiya omutwale naddwaliro Katonda n'atuyamba obusiwa bwe ne bulabika ne bamusaka amazzi Badde engulu n'ayogera amannya gange naye nga taliimu kantu konna namufumula nga n'ayogera amannya gange yagogera bino byokubeera ng'omanyiddwa abantu bangi ne bagenda bannoonya nalimbya naye nga sikyali muntu nga nze ndi wali ku kereziya nga ngenza okwanjulayo ezera gye nasiiba nga faitinga nga ndi mu maaso ga Mukama kakati bajja ne baŋŋamba nti omwana nti abazise naye mbeera sinnungi Dokita bemulaga ne bakola ekisoboka okumala bemunaggulu emala bembeera mwana sinnungi batusindika emala mulago ne batukolako naye yali tayogera talya takola ki era bamusaako ne oxygen kutuuka kati tugendayo ne bamukyekinga ne tudda tugendayo ne bamukyekinga ne tudda
tebamukozesa
dokita eri yatugamba natugamba kino ekyokugezaamu ko bagezaamu nga baagala kugamba nti tutwale ekyo nti bamukutte naye nga ate kirala kye bamukoze gamba baali bamusaada akasi baali baagala bamusaada kubatwandula dokita bano basawo abasirikale bekirade bamukola badokita baabwe namukebera ne bamujja ne bamutwala egundi ne bamukebera kati then ne balyoka bamuzza mu wodi ne bagamba ekyo dokita nagamba ekyo baali bagala gezaako okutwala nti bakoze eki bamukozeseza naye ngaekikulu baali balina ekigendererwa yadde engulu wenyini nga kyaliko n'oxygen kubanga ebifaananyi byasanga mu masimu naye yayogera n'ayogera embeera gye bamutwalamu n'olwetwala gye yamutwalamu ate yamusanga namubonne kati nga bannaasoma butabo nga bani batudde bali kusoma obutabo n'amulimba nga namwita noona jangu tutunda oterekereko bamwerekera yali abbiddemu nakiri ekyo ekyamukulu we kati namukaa gyamuterekereko bamutwala omuwerekerako bamutuusa mu maaso munaalyokamugabira abasajja bataano tumubuuza abasajja obamanyi naye yasooka kwogera ddala nga yakava ku oxygen nagamba maama amafulaza aliwa nemubuuzamu amafulaza mumanyi iye nemugamba otambuddeko naye namamba iye nemugamba yazija wali kudduuka nebanamanya ndi mukusoma akatabo nti nantwala natuuka mu maaso eyo nangabira abasajja besaamanya baana bange nze maama musirina naye ebintu byonna nabikwasa omukama neŋŋamba kansalewo kuba namunga neŋŋamba kansalewo kati mbadde nosendi atambula ezitatambula yatandisa okutambula kati bwate bwe twazzeemu twafunye keeya etategeerekeka kuba twavudali mu bantu abangi kati abeerawo nasirika naye akola ebibye nasirikako n'atambula kyabadde takola baali abadde atambula nga kyalimu ensisiriki ngamanyi okwetanga nekati banaliseeko nemaduladi atuwadde azanyireyo kati tuli wano baana bange kujjako katusabe mukama atuwe n'obusobozi kasana mumutulambuddeko tusobole nga okufuna akasente kenjo ate tunasobola okuddeeka bankolagira ebintu bingi kuba n'olulimi luno balukwatako ne balutuusa wano ne bajja ne bamusalasala ebirega ne bamukwata ne bamukola bwe bati oba najirita oluntu bwe luti lwakagenda lubone ne bajja nga bamwerondako ne bajja ne bakwata amaaso gano ne baganyiga amaaso gonna gabadde gali musaayi naye era badokita adde bakyusa eddagala nga tugendayo erimu bandi baliwandiika mbali banoonya ndoza byasindoza bya bugagga ndoza nga bagala kuwonga nomwana mugezi nnyo abadde asoma bulungi nnyo ku kingi baana bange muganda wamwana abadde asoma bulungi nga nabasomesa bamwagala ngera niwamba sirina ssente banga maama noola jangu tuteesereeto nzi olina omwana asoma era dinisipesi yasanga omwana ono kaaba nnyo era kati abadde ng'agirange okuddamu okusoma kubadde kutandisa abadde agira n'amuwuliza ne kuwaako basire bulungi baana bange abayetaagisibwayo egonga ebyokunywanga ebyo n'okulya okulira mu biddeko obwo asobole okuddamu baana bange era tebola sibula wakati tandisa omuleka munamunjengere nfunyeeko awagazi
Hi. Happy to have you back. And as they make way here, I thought we could have a chat. Yeah, so yeah, I saw you were sort of like adventuring with us remotely, but you were joining us. So what do you make of what you saw? What happened?
My heart is so full. It's just overwhelming to know that I'm able to give back. I know how it feels to be in that position. I know how it feels to not have. So to have just a dream, to make a difference and to actually see it for myself, I'm just very honored. And I know that they appreciate it. And I just hope that this can continue to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger.
Thank you very much. Also very touching the context with which we give it. It's not with a patronizing manner of, oh, they don't have and I have, so let me give them. But it's from a manner of, I've been there before and I need to give them what is within my capabilities. That's awesome. So can you share the experience when you tell us I was there? Because it's very hard for someone to think that somebody who is in the States can be at a point where they lack. So how was it for you?
Well, I was an essential worker working during COVID, and it was a struggle to mentally and financially just stay at bay. Also, growing up, I do have a single mom, and unfortunately, our family dynamic hasn't been the most positive one. When she needed help or she needed resources, she didn't always have it. So there's days where we had to penny pinch or figure out, what are we going to eat today? Do we have enough money to eat today? Especially the transition from high school to college. It was a rough one for me. I worked about 2 to 3 jobs, full-time student, and still couldn't make ends meet for myself. So when I got to this position and I was able to be Miss Global Uganda of this year, I know how that feels. So I have to give back. You know what I'm saying? And it's not so much I know exactly what they're feeling, but I've been in that position before and people kicked me when I was down. They weren't the nicest or the kindest. So if I can be that person that I needed for other people, then that's just a win in itself for me. So it's just, I'm here just wishing I was physically there, but with everything going on in the world with COVID, I'm just happy from the sideline. So thank you.
Thank you. It's very touching hearing you. Sometimes you feel like crying, but not in a bad way, crying from like seeing people who are good-hearted, seeing people who've been there and have testimonies of persevering and getting through, because it encourages the other people. And it's a bit curious because there are people here who are in college and they're saying, I'm not able to continue with school because I don't have money to get me through. And probably they get married or start cohabiting with someone to help them journey through college. How hard is it, or how easy is it to get even employment opportunities when you're in college, and how do you navigate between working and studying?
For me in college, I took classes. I worked during the day, and after my evening classes, I went to another job. So for me, it was almost about 4 hours in each day that I was. What kept me going was I would share with friends. Like if a friend couldn't afford a textbook, I would say, hey, can I lend that textbook? Or it's just one of those things where you have to have a positive mindset. You have to think of the woman that you want to be or the man that you want to be. That's what kept me going. The days that I was tired, I said, well, in 3 years, I'm going to get my degree and I'm going to be this person. And I think that the driving force of every day you wake up wanting more, even though you may not have it right now, is what kept me going. On 4 hours of sleep, I mean, college is difficult in itself, but I would tell them if I could do it, you of course you can do it. I had to work 2 jobs. I had to lose out on a lot of sleep, but I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So you just have to believe in yourself. You can do it. Lean on friends, lean on family, talk to your teachers, ask them if you get extra time with tests or whatever you need. But as long as you're communicating, I think that everything is going to go in your favor. So that's just what I stand firm on.
Wow, that's incredible. Particularly, of course, it's also encouraging that there are that it is possible as a student to also get a part-time job. Part of the challenge here is actually getting a job, but also there is an issue of young people actually looking down some jobs. So what are those 2 jobs we are juggling between studying?
I worked at a restaurant. So I definitely was cleaning bathrooms and mopping floors and doing things that people look down on, but it was what I had to do. And I also worked in the medical field. So during COVID, they had us working with the COVID patients on the phones, talking to people, being that ear. So that's definitely something that was hard to juggle. People did look down on me like, well, why are you cleaning bathrooms, or why are you doing this, or why are you doing that? I saw other friends moving forward in their lives, having different material items that I couldn't afford or things that I couldn't do. And I think it was my mindset where I was always proud of myself. Like, I'm proud that I can go to work, at least have the ability to walk to work or to drive to work or whatever. I think I always stayed true to myself, and I was always proud of myself. So I'll tell the youth, like, it doesn't matter where you start, is where you're going. Like, I started at the bottom, but look at me now. So I think that if I can do it, you guys definitely can do it. So that's the message that I like to push forward. So
very excited about it. For me, very, very humbled. Your story is a story I would like my daughter to listen to, and all the young people. And I hope even through the Miss Uganda platform, but also other platforms, will share widely, because it's a huge problem here. It's a huge problem to look down on jobs. It's a huge problem to look at now and not where I'm headed. And what you're saying is I focused, I knew where I wanted to go. And clearly being number 10 among I don't know how many people in US, that's huge, that's massive, and volumes, it speaks volumes of the even your persona. And of course it takes us again back to the values you were given even as a child when you were growing up. And for me, I really at this moment can only say I know that yours is a space to watch, because you're headed up there, and I cheer you and I celebrate you, and I know that very many other people who are with me, and I'm not looking at the fact that, which is also huge, that you have been able to give to people you don't even know. But I'm looking at your worldview, like broad perspective. And I think also kudos to your mom. I have Maureen here, but I would like to throw, because I'm also like looking at it and I'm saying, is it because I'm old and I am able to see things from a different perspective? I'd like to hear someone like Maureen. She's a very young girl, just completed campus, university. She's actually doing the vision mixing. She's an actress, an accountant by training. And yeah, and also someone who loves film. So she's been on the vision mixing. She's a cinematographer. And I would like to hear from her. What does the story of Ashlei, what you've had thus far, what does it tell you? What do you hear? What does it inspire you or not inspire you?
No, like she has sincerely inspired me because I imagine, because I also come from, can I say single mother?
Yeah, tell us.
I also come from that background, but I can imagine a young lady from such a background. Like, not most people look at us as, like, most people look at people like us as if we can't make it in life. Even people tend to say, like, children brought up by a woman cannot be the same as children brought up by a man and a woman. But you
like a full family.
Yeah, you proved them wrong. Look at you, like that golden heart.
Yeah.
Speaking is inspired.
And going for things and not being intimidated. Yeah. And for me, that's the thing. Also, who else are you lifting up? And lifting up through inspiration, lifting up through exemplary conduct, and that is it. But you just heard from her, and like I already said, very many. I am telling you, the largest percentage of Ugandans are like that. And in as much as she was saying, people look at us like, but also the people who are going through that, how do they see themselves? And what are you telling them? What the message is, you can do it. Ashlei has, people like Maureen have gone through school. I mean, that's huge. And
that's beauty with purpose.
Yes, so you know, so I see that you're even turning her into a preacher. She's preaching, so that's great. So back to you anyway. So tell us about what you're doing now.
Well, now I'm preparing to go to Indonesia in August, at the end of August, for the national competition. I am also still working in the medical field in America. COVID is on the rise back again, so work keeps me busy. In between, I'm modeling, I'm doing some fashion shows. And because of COVID, I'm not physically in school, but school will be picked back up shortly. So I just juggling so much right now, but it's all worth it. And like you said, I also got judged by peers that I didn't have my father in the household, and I would hear things about being a Black girl or that we're lesser than, and we're always getting the short end of the stick, and just all these negative stigmas about Black women. And I thought that was me. I wasn't this body weight or this skin tone, or I didn't have this or I didn't have that. So I thought the same thing. So that's why I use my voice, because I did believe that, and that's so not true. You could do anything, whether you're raised by a mom, a dad, a grandparent, it doesn't matter, as long as you're raised with love. And even if you are in a situation where you don't feel loved, life can turn around and do a 360. So I just want to put that out there, because my life did a 360, and I didn't think that I would be in this position. I didn't think that I was good enough or I was pretty enough, because of what I see on social media and things that they say about Black women and the generalization. So now I just confident to be myself and to go for the things that I want in life, and it actually is manifesting. So God is real, self-love is real, confidence is real, and like I said, if I can do it, you definitely could do it. Because there's days where I didn't think I could do it. I cried many of nights to sleep thinking that I wasn't good enough because what people told me. But now I know that that's not true. So we just gonna keep pushing on.
Oh, great, thanks. Well, you also bring another aspect, and for me, it's a parenting issue. It's a society issue. Love. and the factor of love, because it's not enough to impart values. How are you doing the values? How are you showing love? Is it going to be money? Is it going to be resources? It's about upbringing too, and I'm glad you raised that, because what happens to people who are both with both parents but there's no love? But what would then create the lack of love? And also for me, if Denise was there, is how do you succeed with all that baggage and the strain and all that heavy load on you to still be able to be a mother, sometimes a mother and father, and at the same time someone who is a friend, who is able to laugh, because it can be straining. And so I know people who say, I go to my home back from office and I first want to do 1 hour without going to office. Increasingly you see people who are like, children are a burden. Of course, it's another question why you have them if they're a burden, but like being able to keep in line with saying, I'm gonna love my children, I'm gonna impart the best way, even with all the stress that's attached. How do you navigate that? What are the tips you give to mothers? How do they go about this?
For me, I consciously had these children. So I consciously knew I had to take care of them, whether my husband was with me or without me. Every day that I look at my children, it gave me the urge, the urgency, the drive to continue to do better, want more, do more, have more, get more. As a child, I don't remember growing up poor with my mother. I don't remember struggles. My parents kept that from me. I think for the most part, until my children became young adults or young teenagers, they even understood that there were struggles, because I did what I had to do in order to persevere. But one thing that I always did, no matter how much I worked, no matter what I did, my main focus were developing, pushing my children to become better people. And after work, when I come home, I had a routine. But first thing I would do is, if I don't take care of myself, I cannot take care of them. So one of the rules in my household was always, after work, when I pick them up after school, I need 30 minutes to decompress. I would go in my room. Sometime I would pray. Sometime I would listen to music. And sometimes I just sat. It's important to self-love yourself. It's important to decompress. It's important to know that it's okay to take time for yourself, because my children can only be as great as I am. If I am sad, mad, stressed so much that I cannot be who I am, I can never help them to be who they are. And I also urge women to take time out for self. Even though you have children, even though their needs have to be met, you still have to decompress. You still have to resolve into yourself and tap into who you are, so you can become a better mother, a better provider, a better human being. And that's what I did. And I also had weekly, every Friday in my household was what I call free day. Free day as in when we all went to work. We all went to school, we all went to work. We all had our weekly things that we do. And on Fridays, we would come home, we'd order out, we would do different things, but we would have conversations. And the conversations sometimes wasn't always comfortable, but they were needed conversations, because it's important for you to tap inside of your children, because society can rear them and tear them down and make them think things that are not even true. But if you speak it enough, you speak it into an existence in your mind, because your mind is the most powerful tool. So I had to often debunk myths, and I often had to teach my daughter to love herself, to my son to love himself, that there's no taboo in being a single parent. There's no taboo. If we in this triangle, because I called us a triangle, continue to elevate each other and love each other and care for each other, that there's so many more possibilities in our life. So I think parents need to first find a way to decompress themselves after their day, even if it's taking a nice hot bath. And if some people can't take baths, just sit and meditate. Meditation is very powerful. It recreates the mind. It gets those happy endorphins moving. Inhaling and exhaling, you're sending oxygen to the brain so you can rethink things. There are just a lot of small things that I think equal big things that can help us refocus and regroup. So those are some of the things that I did, and I taught my children never to give up, no matter what it looks like, no matter what anyone else say. If you pray about it, then go get it, because prayer is powerful and the most powerful thing in the world. Pray about it and then go get it. Don't listen to the outside world. Don't listen to what people say. Don't look to what it is. Go to what you want it to be. And if you focus on what you want it to be and you keep pushing to that area, then you'll get it. You know, my daughter fought against a lot of odds when she became Miss New Jersey Earth. Never did a pageant a day in her life. She didn't even tell me that she was going to do the pageant. She prayed about it. And then she went and she told me exactly 48 hours before she competed, Mom, I'm going to compete to be Miss New Jersey Earth. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, Mom, told me to God prayers. And now I'm going to allow you to come with me and allow me to come with you. Yeah, I'm allow you to come with me, Mom. At first, I was very upset about her not sharing this with me. I was very angry. But then as she started talking to me, I start seeing a mirror. And she said, Mom, you taught me that when I'm doing something monumental and I'm doing something that's going to make a change, sometimes you have to walk in silence. You have to pray about it. And then you have to allow God to pave the way for you. And so for me, Mom, I know that you would have been telling people, oh my God, my daughter's going to compete. Oh my God, my daughter's doing this and that. And she said, Mom, I didn't want any naysayers. I didn't want any support verbally. I didn't want any physical support. I didn't want any financial support. This is something I did for me. I spoke about it with God and God told me and led me what to do. And when she went on that stage, brand spanking new, knew nothing about pageantry, nothing about stage and astound. When they called her name, she was just standing there. The only time she knew that she won was when they brought the flowers to her. And she's like, oh my God, I won. So.
Oh, how sweet and how touching. So the team is back, Remmie is back and the team, and it was fast. So we are happy to have them. And I'd like to actually invite Remmie to sort of like sum up how the day was and see if there's something that they would like to share, if there are more questions. I don't want to say I wish you the best of luck and everything, because I still want to stay with you and talk to you more and more and more. But at this point, I probably would like to hear your final words for now, and then we'll continue with the conversation. I hope that you will stream live. I want to imagine that when you are in Indonesia, yeah, right. I look forward to following live. I'll be there cheering you. I know so will most of the colleagues here. So please remember to share with us the link. Remember to tell the people in Indonesia that actually your Ugandan family is watching and following. And so we follow the link here. And we wish you the best of luck. And you know, like all the energy, and may your path, not only in this competition, but your life path be blessed. We have you in our spirit. We thank you. Denise, thank you for doing a great job, an awesome job. We love you. We are happy to have our family. We are happy to have you representing us. And unless you have any other parting words, let's hear from you. And then we'll say adieu for now.
I just want to say thank you. That's my parting words. I just want to say thank everyone. Thank you. Thank the team that's helped people today. Thank you guys for your hard work. Thank you for being interested in me. Thank you for covering this from the bottom of my heart. This means a lot. I don't have anything else to say about me. I just want to thank you guys and thank you for your talents and for you being here. My mom is thankful as well.
I am so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to the crew. I'm so grateful for the time. I'm so grateful for the effort, and there's more to come. Today we feed 10. Tomorrow we'll feed 100. We'll continue the journey.
So thank you guys for having us.
All right, thank you very much. And I just want to welcome back these amazing ladies. I don't know how beauty coincides with purpose and good cause. And I have all these amazing women who, ladies, is better, who were actually traversing the Kamokya. You people have become the Kamokya queens.
The mayors of Kamokya.
The mayors of Kamokya. You did an awesome job. Welcome back. Before we go to Ashlei, who is joining us online, I'd like to just go back to the team here and hear
experience.
what was the experience. And maybe I can start from you and we go like this. Let's first give it a minute.
Start with Rachel because I need to.
Okay, I'll start with my neighbor.
Of course, it's always fulfilling. There's nothing you can compare it to. It's purposeful, and brings a lot of joy to one's soul. And I'm so proud to be a part of it. Thank you, Ashlei. Thank you, Miss Uganda. It was beautiful to go and bring a smile. The timing was perfect. People really had the need for everything that we gave. Thank you, Remmie, for making Ashlei come and share a bit of love for Ugandans. And thank you, Ashlei.
And Denise.
And Denise. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very, very humbling to hear Rachel, and I think the energy, both positive and being tired, but also not tired because of the purpose that they were up to, is very, very humbling and also re-energizing. And I would like to go to Miss Uganda. Miss Uganda, how was it? Wonderful to have you, first of all.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for inviting us, me and Mama, to be a part of this cause. It's very, very fulfilling. Me personally, and I'm imagining for everyone who's been here, very fulfilling to be able to put a smile on someone's face, especially at this time when so many people are not doing well. So many people are going through so many hardships because of the situation. This is like a start for everyone else who's out there watching to know that you don't have to give much. You can give what you have and, you know, put meaning in someone else's life. And then I'd like to thank Ashlei. Thank you so much, and Denise, for starting up this initiative to help someone out there, because I believe so much in giving, and I know the more you give, the more you receive. This has been a very, very beautiful day, and you've made a very good purpose for us to come and be able to share this with you. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Amazing and humbling. And I just also want to hail you because you are a very young young lady. And the places you went to are not sometimes very appealing for many of the young people like you.
It's not about that. I know I'm a community person.
Recently down.
So.
No, it was in Bukoto.
Yeah, Bukoto, the slums.
Down there for mental health and menstrual health awareness month. So we are in communities like that.
No,
so
it's incredible. Also, credit goes to you, Brenda, because first of all, people have a tendency of relating beauty to fancy things, and the fact that Miss Uganda comes on board and gets people who are into these kinds of community initiatives, common good purposes, and going there and demonstrating to people that it's not beauty as you see it, it's beyond that. I just want to comment that, but I had her saying mama, that already speaks volumes. How did it go, mama?
It went well that we were able to traverse the different corners of Kamokya. These are some of the communities work in Kamokya, Chireka, Naguru, basically these three communities and Bukoto. Usually it's those less privileged young women, especially teenage mothers. So issues to do with, you know, self-esteem, building their confidence, skilling programs, you know, mental health, menstrual health, all those things are the things that we deal with, and of course keeping a girl child in school campaign. So actually we are so grateful and so thankful that we've been able to do this. We are looking forward to other way we can collaborate as Miss Uganda Foundation and Watson Foundation. Like I was telling you earlier when we were still in the community, that unfortunately this year I don't think we'll be able to come to the States. Me and her usually gallavant that side a lot. New York, Long Island, New Jersey, Boston, you know. But this time round it's a bit difficult. But maybe we might be a bit close to you in like four weeks time. We're going to be in Canada for the Miss Uganda Canada event. Maybe we'll be closer to you. We can just talk on phone. But anyway, this is a very good initiative to see that you're so far out there, and then also to see that you chose Uganda as your adopted country. That means a lot. And then straight away you dived in to give back to the community and ladies here. We're also looking forward to having you come down here and visit sometimes, so that you can see things firsthand and get to feel what really happens in these communities, and also see how you're impacting lives out there. And maybe when we get a chance to come to your community, we can also visit your community and see how we can also add on the work you're doing that side, and also see how we can impact lives. Remmie Male, the coordinator of everything here. Thank you very much. And also, when the time comes for you to go to Bali, let us know so that we can push here for you the campaign. Push for people to support you, for people to watch out and see what's going on. You can follow our Miss Uganda Foundation platforms. Miss Uganda, we have Miss Uganda World, which is for the pageant. Miss Uganda Official Instagram, Miss Uganda Foundation on both Facebook and Instagram. So if you follow us, we follow you back. That way, when we tag you or when you tag us, we are able to see each other's activities and work and build, more synergies. And Denise, I can't see you, but thank you very much.
Denise?
I saw you earlier. Oh,
Denise?
Hi Denise. So very glad
and they hear
to see you and to collaborate
Where's
with
Denise?
you. It's a very, very wonderful, partnership, collaborations, and these are the things we need to do. That way we make even a bigger impact. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Huge work that you do. Sorry for disrupting. I just wanted to again add, she's the founder, Miss Uganda Foundation, Miss Uganda, and she is the director, Communication and Business Development. And next door in Canada, I would just want to, I think on their behalf, invite, just in case she's able to make it.
Yeah,
I think
that
they
would
would
be
love
nice.
to. It's interesting how you're linking all these synergies. And also, of course, big up goes to, you wanted to chip in?
Yes, actually, if you can join us, that would be good, because apparently it's closer to Canada. New
Yes,
York,
it's
New
just
Jersey is closer to Canada than. Yeah, did Busi say they drove there or someone drove there?
Me, I drove.
Yeah, so if there is a way that we can link up while we are in Canada, that would be great.
That would be fantastic, and we look forward to the pictures, the visuals when you're sharing. Yeah, she has to represent, she's our adopted daughter and representing Uganda. But big up comes to you, Remmie, because
Remmie Male.
Remmie Male, she says Male. Remmie Male.
Remmie Male.
Well, first and foremost, for actually also encouraging and flying the Uganda flag high. You see, this is no mean achievement. Like someone choosing Uganda among all countries, relating humanity and the genesis of humanity to Uganda, and not stopping at that, putting our brand out there. We've just finished elections with very, very negative stories. So seeing all these positive energies is very encouraging. I think Uganda Tourism Board needs to know the awesome work you guys are doing. Well done. Tell us, how did you link up? What inspired you? What do you think of this whole project?
So I'm so excited to be here. I am humbled, totally humbled by the synergies. Miss Uganda Foundation is an entity of itself. Native TV is an entity of itself. Women of Valor is an entity of itself. Ashlei Watson Foundation is an entity of itself. I have always had a dream that as Ugandans or Africans, we learn to do synergies. We learn to believe in synergies. Because they say when you move together, you move much further. The level that we have covered today is so huge, thanks to the generosity of all the organizations that have come to be part of this. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you all deeply for supporting Ashlei. Ashlei is a brilliant, brilliant young girl. She's a lawyer. You're gonna have a chat with her right now. She's studying law. She's Miss New Jersey Earth. She already has that crown. Now she currently holds the Miss Global Uganda 2021 crown. And she said, I want to have a sense of identity and a sense of belonging. We've all seen the George Floyd matter. It was so heartbreaking. They walk on the streets. These are kids that the entire generation they know of is America, from their slave grand ancestors to their current parents. Which country will you drop them into? But thank God Uganda has the earliest bonds in the Nile Valley. So she said, Uganda it is. When she told me I'm choosing to be adopted by Uganda, I'm going to represent Uganda and love Uganda and bless Uganda and identify my Black heritage in Uganda, boy, I was blown, I was happy, and I'm like, I'm here, I am present, and there's a consortium of wonderful, hospitable Ugandans. Ugandans are very hospitable. We are known to be hospitable, very giving. Everyone, this is lockdown. Imagine, in lockdown, they walked, they climbed trees, they climbed mountains, and got here to support. And like the saying says, we are our brothers. Yes, I'm my sister's keeper and I'm my brother's keeper. So what we have done, the experience is unforgettable. I will sleep better, and I know God will know. I don't deserve COVID because I care for his people. He's only going to take those who don't care, who have their food and it's molding in the stoves. But getting off that, I would really love this session, everybody who is watching us from out there, people come and join in. Denise and Ashlei, it's time for you to meet the team and have a chat one-on-one. You can ask them their favorite colors. You can ask them any question. This is the brains behind Uganda Beauty. Miss Uganda Foundation herself. We call her Mama. So she's here. And they are ready to mentor you, Ashlei, before you go to Bali. This is your new clan. These are your new family. Your Ugandan family. And they'll get you a Ugandan name. I had a reporter asking you what is your Ugandan name. We shall find it. Princess Bagaya, please. Ashlei, it's your time. Have a chat with them. We are here to chat with you. Denise, we are here to chat with you.
Okay, so I just want to thank you, Miss Uganda, for your participation today and for sharing your story and what you've been through and your crown with me. That means a lot to me. You're absolutely beautiful, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And I know it was a lot of hard work today, team. And my beautiful Remmie Male, thank you for going out your way to believe in me. I just wanted to know if there was any goals that you had with your title. What are you doing? Anything that I can personally learn from you, Miss Uganda? What were her goals for the remainder of the year, what she's up to, and anything that she's doing that I can learn from?
My beauty with a purpose is mental health. That is something I'm going to keep doing and keep talking about. So for the rest of my reign, as I've been doing, as I'll continue doing, is create mental health awareness. And of course, I'm always supporting the Miss Uganda project because we are mainly about girl child and supporting the girl child and, teaching children about sex education. So I'm forefronting that we are doing and at the same time creating mental health awareness.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you heard her. She was talking about what they are doing. Could you please tell us more about that project? Give us a background.
Of mental health?
Yeah, the project.
Yeah, when I joined Miss Uganda in 2019, my beauty with a purpose is creating mental health awareness because in Africa, in Uganda, it is something that we don't want to talk about. It's something that we think it's a white man's problem or it's we can't get such problems and people are not comfortable talking about it because they think it's witchcraft and they think someone to be mentally ill, they need to throw stones or walk naked or not have their hair combed or something like that. So I decided to take it upon me, of course with the support of the Miss Uganda Foundation, to create awareness about this, to let people know that it's okay to not be okay. And then there are so many other forms of mental illnesses that we need to be educated about, so that more people are more comfortable talking about it, so they don't suffer alone, so that we reduce the stigma that is surrounding mental health in Africa, in our communities, so that if someone is sick and is not doing well, they are able to talk about it without shame. They're able to recover and to go back in their communities and not be stigmatized, and then to let them know where they can go for treatment and health advices.
Miss Uganda just gave us a background to the project that she's focused on. I don't know what the situation is there. Probably they don't believe in witchcraft. Probably they do. How are people more responsive to that? Is that something that you thought is a problem? Are there questions you want to follow up?
Do people frown on mental health like they're frowning? Miss Uganda is saying that the community here, when she's doing mental health campaigns, people are like, no, that's a white man's problem. No, that's witchcraft. So, is it the same over there? What is it like in the United States when it comes to mental health?
Prior to COVID, it was a taboo subject. Prior to COVID, it was a hard, harsh subject. It was a subject that rendered around a lot of negative adjectives, a lot of negative connotation, a lot of disrespect. It was, and it is, and it was horrible. But since COVID has happened and hundreds and thousands of people have passed away, and the commonality of anxiety, depression, has filtered the air into different communities, different nationalities. It has switched the whole conversation of mental challenges, mental illness, mental awareness. People are more in tune with their emotions. They're more in tune with what has and what is causing these issues. I know in different cultures and different belief principles, they believe that it comes from realistic things of voodoo or witchcraft. I know that they talk about it coming from levels of hereditary and just a lot of different things that are attached to this word called mental illness, this word called mental issues. In America, it is shifting, and America is becoming more aware. I mean, unfortunately, children are open with wanting to kill themselves, open to wanting to hurt themselves, open to the fashion and fad of being different or being hurt and in pain. It's more sharing, it's more caring today, it's more open, it's more in your face. But we have to redirect it into an avenue where healing takes place. Knowing the problem is half of the solution, but we have to dwell into why people are suffering. What makes this suffering so grand? Yes, there's hereditary factors in it. You know, it is hereditary. It can be hereditary. There are people in families who are prone to mental illness. Mental illness also is a grander problem with young men than it is with young women. Women issues of mental health is different than men issues. Unfortunately, when you start talking about females' identity, the social media, all of these things have played a part on women wanting to tuck and cut and be and bleach and become something that's really not obtainable. So communication has to start taking place, and productive communication, understanding body images, understanding the stigma of what a woman should be, a girl should look like, understanding what a man should be and what a man should look like or act like. So a lot of those issues are there. And also you have the clinical issues of mental illness. You have the clinical issues that are there. The clinical issues are being solved, of course, by medication, by putting these people into different genres of homes and communities and different things. So it's this mental health thing is so deep and it's so deep rooted that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some solving, some division, some multiplying. When I say division and multiplying, meaning we have to start getting into the root of where things come from, the root of how it came about. When the COVID time hit, unfortunately, my son and I had COVID and we were in the hospital. And my daughter had to, in January, she lost her grandmother of COVID. Her father was in ICU with COVID. She lost relatives and different people with COVID. And then to see her mother and brother 3 months later in the hospital with COVID, staying in a safe haven place where we stayed for 2 weeks with COVID, barely holding on to our lives. I thank God that my daughter was taught some basic skills to survive, because how do you survive losing a grandmother, a father in ICU, and your mother and your brother, your whole support group diminishing? You know, my son and I was holding on to a prayer. I thank God for Remmie Male. I thank God for James. I thank God for the collective of people who prayed for me, who prayed over me, who was there to support me and my children, to support us in these times. My daughter went through a tremendous emotional setback because of that. You know, it was very hard, you know, for her to witness all of these different things. I mean, my daughter would put food at my door in the hotels that me and my son was staying, and she would put food at the door. You know, I couldn't see her, I couldn't touch her, I couldn't feel her. When we came out of this horrific stage, and I thank God that we are still a part of the living, I held on to my daughter like she was coming out of my womb. I talked to her. I fellowshiped with her. I prayed with her. I took her out. We went back. We regressed to progress. I had to go dwell into the psyche of helping her mentally and emotionally handle what has happened and what was happening. And in the same time, continue to try to heal my body and my mind and help my son along the way, who was worse off than I was. So personally, I understand mental challenges, emotional challenges, how you can sway to the other side, how you can allow drugs and alcohol and different things to mother your feelings, to mother your situation. And just think about people who are clinically, who are diagnosed, who are definitely with a deficit, and they're out in this world and they're alone because people are laughing at them, people are shunning them, people are not helping them, and they're trying to cope with deficits, and they try to drink and smoke and make their problems bigger. So we have to start delving into why and what and because, and knowing the problems will already have solutions. So for me, I talked to my daughter. I prayed with my daughter. I got my group together for my daughter. Remmie Male was an intricate part in that healing process for my family, for my daughter. And it surprises me that in the midst of that, she still became Miss Global Uganda. In the midst of that, she still had modeling and speaking engagements. Because we didn't mask that issue. We continuously talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more you dialogue about it, the more you allow yourself to feel it, the more you allow yourself to live in it, the more you allow yourself to accept the unacceptable in society, then we'll start healing as people. We can start healing as women. Once we start taking stigmas away from things, once we take stigmas away from being raped, once we take stigmas away from being poverty, once we take stigmas away from mental, emotional, physical, and financial issues in life, the better we will become as people, not just as Black people, but human beings, as human people. And one thing COVID has taught, that God has allowed people to see, material things mean nothing. Material things mean absolutely nothing in this world. Love, care, concern, family, helping, teaching, reaching is the most important lesson that God is trying to teach us to dwell into. We have to continue to be each other's keeper. We have to take away stigmas. Stigmas are killing our people. Stigmas are killing young Black girls because they want to bleach their faces. They want to enlarge their breasts. They want to plump out their bottoms. They want to be what they are not. They're not working to their capability because they're so superficial. We're not going back to the basics of teaching girls how to sew, how to cook, how to care for their bodies. What's important to give them self-esteem, to build them up. we're not going back to the basics. And I think once we start going back to basics, we'll start to heal as people. You know, just seeing what you guys did today, I'm overwhelmed. It took me away to know that my people, my Black women are suffering in ways that I thought we had overcame. And to see that we have not. We have so much more to go. We have so much more to do. And we have to keep doing what we have done. We have to keep pushing the way we are pushing. We have to keep giving the way we were giving. I was overwhelmed with the love and the care that you guys gave to these people as you went into their homes. When I looked at their homes, what I go through is nothing. What I've been through is absolutely nothing. Even in the midst of my storm, I could eat. I could walk outside on a pavement. I could have water, lights, gas. I still was able to go in a car, come and do. What I went through is nothing, even with COVID, compared to what them women are going through in slums, and compared to a woman who's raped and have to look at a child as a memory and take care of that child and have to do for that child, that unconditional love, that agape love that God talks about. It's almost insane to me. It's not even comprehensive to my brain when I look at it. So I feel blessed to know you all. You are my new girlfriends. You're my new group of girls. I feel so blessed to know you. I'm so blessed to be a part of this movement. I call it a movement. I call when Black women get together, it's something about us. We're fierce, no matter where we come from, no matter where we are. It's something that is in us. It's the melanin in our skin. God gives us something so incredible. And I just want us to keep pushing and pulling, keep open dialogue, keep talking about the things that are dear to our communities. Because yes, mental illness is serious. It's serious across the globe. It's serious, not just in Black communities, but in rural communities. But I do want to learn how to help my people. I do want to learn how to help the Black men who struggle with it, because it's very prominent clinically in Black men. So studies need to be done. Why? Why are Black men going mental ill? Why is the illness taking and robbing our Black men?
Thank you very much, Denise. That's very, very eye-opening. It's huge. It's massive. It's mind-boggling, because I am hearing a lot, like about 5, 6, 17 points, many points, but I'm picking the commonality of the problem, even when the levels are different. And the approaches, I'm hearing that mental health is a serious problem there, same as it is here, different ways of sometimes handling it. I'm hearing the issue of COVID, something that we've been debating, and I think I'll toss a question to Miss Uganda and the Miss Uganda Foundation to deal with later, because I'm hearing an issue of COVID. Because what is happening, the experience you've just described about your daughter, your family and everything, is something that has happened. And I think for the first time in many years in Uganda, we are saying we actually need counselors. And I think the intervention such as this, I think needs to be contextualized in the current reality of mental health that might come, some that we don't see, but I would like to hear from you bringing it up. I am also hearing an issue of what are the lessons? What does Africa have to tell, particularly to the African American community? Because sometimes when you go to America and you're looking at the African American brothers, and you know they've gone through a lot of pain, you know that they have, of course, the effect of slavery cannot go away, but you're also thinking they have education, even if it's bad, you start with taking it, they have the good things that you're talking about. And that stems from actually African Americans getting a lens, peeping into what is happening elsewhere in Africa, learning from those. The take home I hear from you today is, in as much as you've been able to support, there's been lessons that can be used to empower and impact on the community, on even your own self-growth. But I think I would like to give it back and throw it back to, what is it you picked from her submission? How are you contextualizing your intervention in COVID vis-a-vis what has been happening? The love that she talks about and all that. And I see that Remmie's hand is up as you're processing how you're going to respond.
What Denise's discussion has opened my eyes to is the boy child. She is saying that the boy child has a bigger statistics in mental health. And I'm also, my takeaway from what I've been listening to what she's saying is, we need to learn the why, the what, the because. And then that way, we'll be in position to tackle from the root. So those are the biggest takeaways that I could take from this.
Fantastic. Over to you, Mama.
My takeaway from that is for a while we are facing the same issues as the black community, the black ethnic group of thinking that mental health is for the white race. It is the same here. So seeing that you're also going through the same thing and now speaking out more, doing a lot of awareness campaigns, and also hearing that Ashlei has a lot of speaking engagements to raise awareness, that's a really good thing. And I've also been following some celebrities like Taraji. She has been very vocal when it comes to mental health in the black community, which is a really lovely thing to see, because there are obvious things people see and hear people talk about, but this is kind of out of the usual campaign that is being taken on by the black African American community for the black American community. So that's a big takeaway from me. And then also to appreciate when you are watching the communities we are going to, the communities we work with every day, and acknowledging and say what I'm going through is nothing compared to what I've seen today. Because sometimes we might not really know until we get a hands-on experience or live that experience. We might never know. We might sit there, feel sorry for ourselves, but then there are people who are doing much worse than we are. So that's also a takeaway from me. So thank you for sharing.
Over to you, Miss Uganda.
First of all, Denise, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think I was talking to one of my family members, and I told them this COVID is a blessing in disguise. Of course, it's not good, but I think it shook the table to mental health. From childhood, we are meant to supposed to work, and not rest. But now this COVID took us into a forced leave. It took us into a forced rest. For someone who comes from working all day Monday to Friday, and then the whole weekend you're busy, to now doing nothing the whole time, it was a very big eye-opener for very many people to know that, wow, me by myself, I can't entertain myself, and that leads to issues in my head. If someone is feeling down, they're feeling depressed, they're getting moody, of course they don't want to associate themselves with mental illnesses because of the stigma, but now it's opening people's eyes to, if I'm feeling this way, it could be because of this. If I'm feeling this certain type of way, it could be because of this. So in this COVID, more people are getting to know, are getting to be aware of their mental health, of their mental illnesses, of their mental state, to know that if I'm feeling down and I'm feeling moody and I'm feeling this way, I don't have to throw stones to know that I'm mentally not fine. So it's been very good that people are getting to be more open about mental illnesses during this time of COVID. So yeah, thank you.
Adi, thank you so very much. You all raised very interesting things. And what I'm picking from your submissions, all of you, is that this conversation we've just had a scratch. Ashlei, was lovely to interact with you. I think I say it on behalf of the entire team. We wish you well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miss Uganda. Thank you, Women of Valor. Thank you, Remmie. Thank you, Rachel Magale. Thank you, James. Thank you, the native team, Maureen, Josephine, and Eva. Thank you, Brenda, Mama, Miss Uganda. Thank you to our host. We're in a very beautiful place at Kamokya. Thank you very much. We love you. Take care. Looking forward to catching up soon. All the best. Stay well.
Bye-bye.